What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Rinder here, and I'm back with another video. I don't have long on this video. I am on a time crunch, so this one might be a little shorter than usual, but I do want to say this. We know the stuff that's going on in these other countries with Russia and Ukraine, Iran, Israel, the United States potentially getting involved with a potential military strike on Iran if negotiations don't go well. We know the situation from the winter storm that went from Texas all the way up to the northeast. We know the second winter storm that following winter weekend that slammed North Carolina, southeastern Virginia, South Carolina, and parts of Georgia. I think Atlanta got some snow. Now here in eastern North Carolina, my city got 16 inches, but some places in my county got 29. So it seems like this year is going to be an active year so far. We know the situation with Venezuela when the United States did airstrikes on Venezuela, took their president and his wife, flew him out to New York. He's been charged, all the other stuff. So 2026 might be one of the most active years so far since the 2020 and 2022, because 2022 was an active year because that's when the full-scale invasion from the Russians on Ukraine, sorry about that, happened. So you see what's going on here now. Russia lately been amping up their strikes on civilian targets as if they wasn't, but I was wondering why. But then come to think of it, the war back in 2022 with Russia and Ukraine, when it started, well, the invasion part of it, that's when he started it. Russia started the war on Ukraine in 2022. So it kind of makes sense how that's going on. Now we have this whole situation here in the United States with ICE. You know, Renee was killed by federal agents, stuff like that. There was another situation a few days or weeks later that happened in Portland, Oregon, where two people were shot by federal agents and hospitalized. I think they both made it. We have that situation now. If you go back to last year or earlier last year, there was a bunch of plane crashes back to back. I think one of them involved a military aircraft, or airline crashed to a military aircraft, something like that, right? So we had that situation, and then it was just going on and on and on. Then we reflect to the LA fires. Recently, I think it made a year of the LA fires. So, because my breath there, y'all, because I was talking way too quick, which had a lot of problems coming out of that one. I think people are still recovering from that, and it was been videos that people, even some foreigners, been setting these fires that was happening in LA just last year. I believe it happened last year. Then we go fast forward to also last year, Hurricane Helene. I think it happened last year. I want to say it did. No hurricane made a landfall in the United States last year for the East Coast. I don't know about the West Coast. So year 4 last, back in 2024, Hurricane Helene, made landfall in Florida, and then it came all the way up to North Carolina. It destroyed the mountain parts of North Carolina. A lot of places was destroyed. Till this day, roads are still closed in certain spots of North Carolina for the mountains, and people are still recovering. So we got that going on. It's not really making it any better, especially with tariffs and stuff going on for other countries. It's kind of harder to get, imports and stuff here. A lot of people have been mysteriously coming up sick, especially towards the end of last year around Christmas time. Then it really got worse this year in 2026 back in January, and it's still ongoing here into February. I do expect these viruses and stuff to come up even more and more, even the ones that we haven't heard of, because we coming into travel season. That's when a lot of people be traveling outside of the country, to Asia or the Middle East or something like that, and come back to the United States, or it's vice versa. We could have something over here, we travel to another country, spread it to that country. So it might be another COVID situation. I did not rule that out, that a lockdown potentially will be coming soon by this summer or towards the end of this summer. Maybe I would give it to the fall time. I could be wrong, but something big is going to happen, guys, because we know the United States been involved in so much stuff, especially the situation that will happen with Venezuela. We know Russia have their opinions on it, talking about the United States go after Venezuela, there will be consequences and all that other stuff. Nothing happened. Russia always say that, a lot of the countries always say that, but you do not know what they have up their sleeve. They might be giving us multiple warnings. We know the potential invasion on Greenland. Will that happen? I do not rule that out, but I'm not going to say that it won't happen, that it will happen. Sorry about that, because we already know that we went after Iran just last year, then we went after Venezuela just this year. So it's a potential. We know the situation with North Korea and South Korea have been having their own issues. Cambodia and Thailand been having their own issues. Israel and Gaza been also having their issues. There's been recent military strikes on Gaza that killed, I think, 4 people. I did a video on that, so make sure you guys go check out that video. And I did a video on hurricane preparedness, because just because last year was like basically a quiet season for that and landfalls on the United States, if I'm not mistaken, there was not one landfall of a tropical storm or hurricane here in the United States. And I would say one thing though: there's been some areas last year that was graced by, like, the outer bands and stuff, but it wasn't really no significant problems. Now this year might be a different year because every year with hurricane season is different. It starts June 1st and I think runs to November 30th. Basically same thing as last year. You're just gonna have to stay prepared for that, because I do not rule out one or two, maybe three major hurricanes impacting anywhere between Florida and the Carolinas. I do not rule that out at all, especially this winter been so active, especially in the south. Texas, hearing ice storm, snowstorm, sleet storm from Texas all the way up to the northeast is pretty crazy too. Recently there was snow falling in Florida, I think twice this year already. So this makes Florida's second year of having snow in the panhandle part of Florida, northern part of Florida, the second year. And you hear snow in Florida, now if you hear a blizzard happen in Miami, you know something's wrong. But I did not rule that out one winter. I'm pretty sure it happened before. I would not put it past that. But if you hear a blizzard happen in Miami, Florida, you know something's up. But we know climate change is real. It's been happening. The climate been really changing over the years. Again, more places down south and across the deep south and the southeast been seeing winter weather. So this is like the second active winter so far. I would say this probably was the most active winter compared to last year for the south, because this year was just off the rockers with 3 winter storms for 3 weekends. You have the one that went from parts of Georgia, Alabama, and parts of Florida. Then we followed the one that happened from Texas to the northeast. Then you had this latest winter storm for the south that impacted mainly North Carolina. All of North Carolina had snow in some part. Like all 100 counties in North Carolina had snow. Then you have South Carolina that has snow, and then parts of Georgia, and then southeastern Virginia. But North Carolina was like the main target, especially the eastern part. So that's what's going on. So I do not rule out that something way worse is going to happen between this spring, this summer, especially as people start traveling. If it's for viruses, is a new war going to break out because it happened across Asia? Could the United States actually go after Greenland? Could we go after Cuba? A lot of possibilities, and especially this year seems like it's going to be a really active year, especially with everything that's been going on lately. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. I just want to bring this to you guys' attention, just to reflect from what happened just last year to this year. And this year we already are in the second month of this year, and it's already going crazy. So with that being said, make sure you guys share this video. Make sure you pay attention, be vigilant, be careful on where you go, what countries you go to. And with that being said, it's your boy Rondé right here. I know I wasn't on here long, but it's your boy Rondé right here, out.